Hello everyone, PJ or TeamAmerica here, and today I am doing the Heroic Duels Hearthstone tier list for August 2021. Um, so let's just get right into it. So, starting off, we have S tier, which starts off with Shaman. Um, the reason Shaman is number one is because it is incredibly strong and it's also incredibly easy to play. So there are two strategies you can do with Shaman. The weaker strategy is the Stormcatcher questline Shaman, where you run a bunch of overload cards. The stronger version is the Battle Cry with Murlocs or Elementals. I think Murlocs is slightly stronger, but I think with the new elemental, that makes all elementals in your hand and deck cost one less. Just the Battlecry passives with all together now, Meek Mastery, um, Rally, Battle Totem, just like you technically only need to hit one of them, and you have a pretty good deck. And so you just have so many chances to hit. I think it's a pretty big thing that they need to change in duels. Um, but you go Ferocious Flurry and you go Payload Totem Specialist, and you're just good to go. It's pretty good for getting 12 win runs, and yeah, that's why it's number one. Moving on, we have Rattlegore. So Rattlegore itself, a big reason why it's up here is that it is the best at taking out the other two best classes. So against Shaman, it can be pretty good at controlling the board with a bruising deck. And actually, I've been running a lot of Bomb Warrior recently. I don't think it's as good as the Bruising Warrior, but if you hate Priest, it is very good against Priest in the early games. You just shove in all of the armor cards and some good battle cries, and you got yourself a pretty good deck against Priest. You can gain enough armor so that their 20 burst damage won't kill you in the early games, and because they have to cycle through their deck, they draw enough bombs to kill themselves. So it's a very strong class, just like it was last meta. And yeah, you go bruising. And every deck, I believe, is running Scrap Metal Demolitionist right now because you want to go for Battlecry passives with every deck. And moving on to the Scourge that I hate so much right now in duels is Priest. You're basically only there is no Shadowman Priest. I don't think right now. You're basically always running Mind Tether and Shadow Word Void, both of which I would like to get nerfed. And you're running a combo with Embrace Darkness, Desperate Prayer, and Flash Heal, which does like 13 damage on its own for 3 mana, and then you just add anything on top of it, and they're basically dead in the early rounds. Yeah, it's just way too much damage when you only have 20-25 health. So I will say Priest, unless you get something like Oops All Spells, it does struggle to get past like 7 wins. But you will, like, unless you're fighting against Priest, you will get like 3 wins easy. Like, and it's like beyond easy. It's like turn 5 and they're just dead. And so a lot of the times you won't even see turn 5. There's actually posts on Reddit of people winning turn 1 multiple times. Like, the deck is not healthy, in my opinion. And I want something done about it sooner than later. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later, maybe. So moving on. So then we skip a tier because I don't think anything is actually close to those classes. And honestly, I had to kind of use win rate because I honestly feel like all the classes are kind of close at this point. But so I think that what's cool about Hunter is it actually has two separate decks that are both alright. You have your Death Rattle Hunter, which is using Death Games and Death Strider. I actually think there are variants that are Death Rattle, but also running a bunch of Battlecry minions are pretty solid right now. And then Survival Training, you can also run this with the quest line, which it is a super fun deck to play. It's not the best, I don't think. I think it could be good if some of the Battlecry stuff gets picked out, but because it is a little bit slow. But it is so much fun. The quest line, and you basically have a Raza Hunter. I've been running Slate Syringe with that. Just none of the treasures really fit the deck that well. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I recommend it if you have gold to spare, or I would probably play it in casual. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, the Questline Hunter. And then we have Druid, which is basically the only deck I think that's really good with Druid right now is the token taunt deck that I play. The Questline deck using Nature's Gift it's just not very good right now. It loses board too fast to the Battlecry decks, and it can even struggle against the Priest decks. And it's like the deck is built around gaining armor, and if you're struggling against Priest decks, you're doing something very wrong. So yeah, I mean, if you get Feoris Blade, the Questline deck is actually pretty hilarious because the attack you gain with Feoris Blade counts towards the quest line, and then eventually you play I can't even think of what its name is, but no, it's not Gruul. But when you play the quest reward that gives you 8 attack, you have that on top of your Feoris Blade, so it's pretty sick. And then again, you're just always running Wardens in sight. You might be able to play Token Druid, but I think the Taunt Token package is just better because it gives you more passives that you can hit. And then moving on to C tier, we have you know what? I actually think we should move down Paladin maybe one more, but I'll still talk about it. It probably should move down below Demon Hunter. So with Paladin, you can either run from Golden Light or bring on recruits. If they ever fix the bug so that the questline will actually make your hero power cost 1 less, maybe it'll be playable once the nerfs come in. It's not terrible, but I think the best deck is still probably from Golden Light with a bunch of Divine Shields, and you're running Royal Greatsword, which will just win your games early. The questline with Men at Arms isn't terrible, but like you have to hit good buckets, good passives. It's a little tough. So, but yeah, Royal Greatsword is just always strong. So I mean, we're at the bottom of the barrel right now. So with Demon Hunter, you have Outlander, and I don't think Token Demon Hunter is playable right now. But Outlander, it can be a bit of a struggle early on. If you hit Fire Shaper, it's really strong. The issue with Outlander is you basically have to hit either Khadgar Scrying Orb or Oops All spells, or you will struggle so much. Like the deck just doesn't work without those. All these people are like, oh my god, I had this amazing 12-win run, and they all hit Oops All spells. And it's like, you know, it's hard. It's not that easy to play unless you hit the insane nuts with the deck. So, Yeah, it's honestly not that good. It can high roll, but I don't think it's that good of a deck personally. I might just not be that good with it yet, and maybe I can still be proven wrong. But it is so reliant on hitting an amazing tier 2 passive that you can't really force that well. So I mean that's why Demon Hunter is down here. But the thing is, it can hit. It can hit harder than any class. Like, so it's like if you hit, it's 12 wins basically. It is so hard to beat, and that's why I think maybe it should move up above Paladin. So with Rogue, it's basically just running Battlecry minions with the roguish maneuvers. And that's it. You can still play the Caverns Below Quest Rogue with connections. If you hit Meek Mastery, which I have not been able to do, it's pretty funny and solid. But I've not been able to do it, so I don't actually know how good it is. But I imagine it would be amazing. Because everything from your hero power basically costs 0. And finishing the quest with, like, 0 cost cards would be so much easier. Maybe I'll try to do that this week. But yeah, so, but if I would mostly recommend playing Roguish Maneuvers. And Ace in the Hole for Quest Rogue, and Green Tortolan Shell for the Battlecry decks. And then moving down to D tier, we have Mage, which you're basically either playing Old Quest, which is using Wormbolt, the 5-turn Embercaster deck, or you're running the quest line, which I recommend running with Secret Studies, which makes it so you run like the Fire Secret that does 6 damage to a minion when you play it, and then Ice Barrier and Oasis Ally. So you're running like 3 secrets to just help you finish the quest line. So I actually I think if they I want the meta to slow down by them taking out a bunch of the Battlecry stuff and the priest stuff, and then maybe this, like, a side effect of that might be that this deck becomes too powerful. But I mean, I want them to make those changes, and then we get to see what happens and becomes too powerful. But right now, both decks are just way too slow. And, like, especially the Old Quest Mage. I have to think so hard when I'm playing that deck, and every game is like, I'm just like, I'm 1 turn from death, and then I have to pop off and do some insane turn, and it is stressful, and like it's fun for me, probably annoying for my opponent, but yeah, it's just, you can't get 12 wins with it really, because the decks get too fat. And I think you run Embercaster for Old Quest Mage, obviously, and New Quest Mage have actually been running Brits, but maybe you might run Embercaster if the meta slows down. I'm running Brits just because, like, the games don't even get to turn 5 half the time. So it's like, why do I have a 5-mana minion? And then at the bottom, I've got Warlock. Quest Warlock, I've lost to it a decent amount, but it just gets shredded in the early games. I don't know. Like, I'm fighting against them sometimes in the late games, and I don't know how they get there, because I'm always dead, and it's really frustrating. So I don't think that that's a viable strategy. The first, so basically I think you're just running Battlecry with Social Studies, but it's not as good as the other Battlecry decks, because Social Studies is putting a bunch of soul fragments in your deck, and when you draw those soul fragments with Rally, you don't get a discount. So it's basically just a Battlecry deck, but not as good, which is why it's down here. And I haven't had any success with it really. Again, I could be a little bit higher up, but not much. And you're probably running Demonizer with it. And if you are running the quest line, you would run Joris. I'm just not having success with it. I think I need to mulligan the treasure until I get to like 30 or more health. So maybe I'll give that another go as well this week. We'll see. But yeah, so that's the tier list. Let me know what you think. Cross your fingers that when they do the mercenary showcase next week, that we will get news about duels. I'll let you guys. My hope. I have no information. My hope is that we will be getting the 10 mercenaries, new heroes in duels, new hero powers, new starting treasures. That's my dream. That I would love for them to announce that as our next duels update. And it like they announce mercenaries and then they're like, not only mercenaries, but they're also coming into Hearthstone duels. That's the dream. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that too in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord community, and check me out every day on twitch.tv/TeamAmerica. Thanks for watching.